Thank you, Lisa, again for being reader. And let's have Josephine County come up for the pledge before we pass.
Right. Please join me. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. And before we test, first, of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned?
Thank you, Jody. Inspiration. Dan Jones. All right. Oh, they need it first.
Okay, so this is a quote from Leo Bastiolacci, Italian. Notice Dr. Love, who's a professor at the University of California and author and such. He was the first to state and promote the concept of humanity needs hugs. I love this guy. Okay, it is too often we underestimate the power of hugs.
Closer to the right. Thank you.
Too often we underestimate the power of a touch, a smile, a kind word, a listening ear, an honest compliment, or the smallest act of caring, all of which have the potential to turn a life around. So, okay.
All right. Very nice. So let's introduce our guest today, Brian.
Yeah.
Hi, welcome. And Carol Jordan. Hi, Carol.
It's
A fledgling member, welcome, we're glad you're here. Also, I'd like to introduce Brad Converse, who is, you remember him from Bradley's Cutters, and he is the new interim CEO at the YMCA, and he might say a few words for us a little bit later. Welcome. Okay, so let's have people have announcements come over here, and I'm going to make one up front that Doug Walker had sent me an email and asked that I make two things. One, that he would like to have us make, or individuals make donations to hurricane relief. And there is a way to do that through Rotary. I printed out a couple of copies, but you can also find the site on DAC-PD. He also said that if you want to get directly to the Asheville, North Carolina Club, you have to do a little more research, but that's apparently one of the towns that's been most hard hit. The other thing he asked me to remind you, and this is really important, especially with October, there are so many fundraisers, so many opportunities to give. Nobody should feel pressure to give. You give where you can, where you can. I just picked up some new bags, put all my beer bottles in. I have bottles of beer. And, you know, at different times we're saving for kids to college, we have other responsibilities people don't know about. If you're able to give to something, do. If it's not your time or not, don't feel pressure, please. It's just really important. And I'll come clean on one more thing. Remember last week I was bragging about how we made 55,000 at Torch Fest, and we're such a small club, and the larger club in Medford made 30,000 on pickleball. But what I didn't share and should have is they make $60,000 a year on tabletop. So every club is different. You know, they don't do happy bucks, they do happy $250. And so let's give them credit where credit is due. Okay, some announcements.
Well, 30 years as a retired teacher, you think I could have found footboard someone in my house? Are you serious? That would have been too easy. So I am telling you about the cleanup. We are signed up as the road gateway Rotary to clean up Highway 199 between Elmers and I'm not sure what the ski road, let me know. But there's an area that we clean up, and we are asked to do it at least once a year. We haven't done it this year, so sign us up for November 2nd. And then I would like to do it again in the spring. So usually what happens is we meet at 8:30 at Elmer's, breakfast, get out there and work an hour or two. The more people we have, the less time it takes. So I do think that's important. So I'm gonna send a sign up sheet on top of a grants pass and Josephine County Chamber of Commerce profile. So I'll put my name there and maybe my phone number would be great. So I'll send it around for some.
Thank you, Bill.
Well, goodness sake, it's already October, so that means December is coming very soon, which means our backpack program. So just kind of put that in everybody's ear, we are scheduled to do backpack stuffing at the high school, Race Pass High School Commons on December 12th, which is a Thursday, so that's when they were able to get us in and have us booked already. So we've got that going. I'm going to be ordering the backpacks, etc. We'll be doing it for 240 kids again this year. So I'll be ordering the backpacks and some socks and gloves. Delynn has her little grandma that has already been working hard on making our beanies, and I think she said she's made over 200 already. So she's just been going to town. So I won't have to order beanies or anything of that sort. So, you know, just as you even say, if you have an opportunity and you would like to donate anything to the backpack program, that would be great. If not, we do have a very nice budget that the club has donated to us for that for $4,000. But again, we are feeding and doing backpacks for more kids, so it does come to more than what I had before. But anyway, I'm looking forward to it. Cindy's going to give us hygiene kits again this year, and I believe we've got plenty of toothbrushes, but toothpaste is something we would need. So again, remember 240 kids.
Yes. Time is that commonly?
Typically, well, we're delivering, we start at 4:30. We normally start the setting up at 5, and then typically we'll probably do like 5:30 if we have a big group like we did before starting with the actual stuffing event. So it's the setup originally first, then the stuffing would start at 5:30. And normally we're done in less than an hour cleaned up and good. So
I was going to be there in person today, but I am sucked into work, so joining via Zoom, period. Excited to see you, exclamation point.
I would like to thank Donna, Sarah, and her husband for hosting the social last time. We were a few of us, but the food was amazing. We did, Donna, please thank Dave from all of us. It was a wonderful barbecue, and the evening was so pleasant. We all sat outside and had a wonderful time. So thank you, Donna, for doing that. Thank you.
Okay, our speaker's still stuck in traffic, so I have 3 more things I'm gonna say, and then we're gonna ask Brad to tell us a couple things about why. Okay, first, Lisa has more cards to sell, she's gonna make around $1 a piece for chance. Number 2, if you have not done 2 truths and a lie, please fill out one of these cards, and if you forget to bring it back, you can just email it to me and I'll do that. If our speaker was a complete no-show today, this would have been a good time to do 2 truths and a lie. I only got 17 responses. And the one that said I was Miss America in 1978, I knew who that was. Oh, no. That was a big one, okay, I want to talk a little bit about Halloween. You know, we're having a wonderful Valerie, don't laugh at Valerie. We are having a wonderful event at our superintendent's home, Tim Sweeney, and there'll be costumes and contests and all that. There's $10 suggested donation. But during the day that day, which will start, I think it's going to start at 11, Leonora is going to be face painting for us. She's going to do a mini fundraiser. So for $10, you can either get a star or something on your face. She's going to go from 11 to probably 2, and we're going to use the money. We received an independent $800 donation for our community art fund. And if we get another 200, then we'll have 1,000, which will enable us to give that money to the city to do another art walk. So our goal is 200. Yes, Jen? I'm sorry.
When did we hear about how the money?
Oh, it's in the queue right now. They have just finished an RFP and have another box they're doing, so it's gonna be several more months. They're trying to save up for 4 boxes. it's 4,000 because it's the same amount of work to interview all the artists and so forth. So they're definitely gonna use them for utility boxes, which is cool. So anyway, that's what we're gonna do on Halloween. And Brad, would you like to come up and give us 3 minutes on what's happening at the Y?
Yeah, I'm gonna set a 3-minute time.
All right.
There we go. All right, 3 minutes. So my name is Brad Converse. If I don't already know you and recognize a lot of faces in here. I'm the interim CEO for the YMCA. I was the past board president. And just it was time for a transition. And the board unanimously, I recused myself, but let them know I'd be willing. The board unanimously decided that I would provide stability during the transition. And now, I'm no longer on the board. It's my job to, I think I want to earn the job long term. So that's where I'm at right now. Working on, improving systems and doing kind of the more in business stuff. But I've got a lot of experience in the community. I was part of Rotary for a long time before I started Bradley Putter Company. I ran the Duck Derby, chaired it. I didn't run it. It's a volunteer thing. It takes everyone, but I chaired it in 2014. I also did the first prep for 2 years. I was part of the Greater Grants Pass Rotary. Love Rotary and looking to get back into it now that it makes sense. I want to tell you a quick story about what it means to me. A lot of CEOs and people say, "Oh, we want to partner with people." It's like, yeah, sure. What does that actually mean to you? The very first thing I did as interim CEO, my staff came to me and said, "Hey, we got this grant for youth in government," and we actually we had a person lined up that was going to train, teach it, do all that. It's about a $10,000 grant. They backed out last week. Do we send the money back? What do we do? Well, I know if you guys don't know Allison Allison, she's in, yeah. Why is she not here? You got to fine her for that. But I called her up because she used to work at the Y, good relationship there. And I said, "Hey, Allison, we can't use this. Could you guys use it?" Well, Boys and Girls Club now. I don't know what, it's a Y thing, it's Y grant. Like, let me make that's for you to figure out. I had my team check with the right channels, and they actually want us to increase partnerships with Boys and Girls Club specifically, but really all other nonprofits. And so we're looking to just kind of pass through, partnership. Let's put both our names on a sign or whatever. But that's $10,000 that isn't just going to be sent back because I can't use it. We are here to partner with others and not expecting anything in return. We're going to do the right thing for Grants Pass. I'm born and raised here. What's fun is anytime I meet most people, it's like, "Oh, Converse, you related to the Wolf Creek clan?" "Oh yeah, Dan's my dad." "Oh, it's great." "Jesse, yeah, that's my aunt." "Oh, I went to school with her in Weimer." Like every conversation either starts or ends that way, which is, it's nice to be part of a family like that. So being born and raised here, I went to Oregon State for mechanical engineering, came back and I worked for a military industrial complex kind of company. I wasn't military, but I worked with them and did a lot of R&D, a lot of programmed in 10 languages, learned a lot of stuff. I ran COVID Skunk Works when the pandemic happened to get PPE for the hospitals that needed it. But that was a team of 200 some people that was fully distributed. Like I didn't meet most of them. Like I haven't met most of them ever. It's just partnerships there. Side note, 3 minutes. I am on the Talent Maker City Board now. So very excited to bring more of what they're doing over here. And I'm going to use the YMCA to make Grants Pass a better place. I volunteered for the past 15 plus years just for free doing it. And now someone's crazy enough to pay me to do it. So I'm going to try to hold on to that as long as possible. Excited to work with you guys on all sorts of projects. Thanks.
Thank you. All right, it takes a village and our guest speaker has arrived. Tommy, are you ready to do some works? Very good.
I brought my readers.
Yeah.
Okay.
How close to the mic?
Hold on. Can you hear me now? Yeah. Okay. So I am pleased to introduce Ace Ventura. And he is the Southern Oregon Area Manager for Donor Services, Chairman of the Recognition Committee for the Pacific Northwest, and a member of the National Cultural Championship Board for the American Red Cross. That's quite a title. So Ace has been,
Many roles.
don't we all? So Ace has been instrumental in organizing and promoting blood drives across Greater Oregon. He has a special love for Josephine, where he resides with his family of 6 and 3 kids.
Yeah. You have a flash drive for him? It's okay. Okay. You gotta pull hard.
Yeah, no worries.
Oh, you're.
Hello, thank you all for having me here. My hope today is that by the end of this conversation, I do something of value for you. Lots of people speak just to speak, but my prayer is really that you take something away from today's talk and your perspective and view of life is a little bit different than it was before. So again, my name is Ace, but truth be told, Samuel, Ace Ventura. Friends of mine, some know me as Sam, but I do go by Ace. It's a little more memorable, easy to remember. So anyhow, I'm gonna jump right into it because I value your time. A few years back, I kind of got tired of chasing the dream of making a lot of money. Back in 2008, I think I was worth about $10 million. Worth that much, but didn't mean that really at the end of the day I had a pay. I was in real estate, I owned my own ranch, and I was making a ton of money during those times. Many people, anybody familiar with the big bubble? Yeah, yeah, I was part of that. That was good times. Got to play that bubble. And I thought I was going to be Lieutenant Dan and Forrest Gump, the last boat still sailing out there after the storm, and things didn't quite pan out that way. I still kept trying to figure out life and chase the dream. My mom grew up in the Dominican Republic. She came from an Italian family. They owned resorts and all kinds of cool stuff, but she decided to move to the United States and kind of figure out her own path. She never graduated high school, but ended up as a CFO of a company because she believed in determination and hard work, and she achieved a lot. I got to see this woman be the example in my life. And it transformed. I also grew up in a time where things like Wolf of Wall Street movies, and making a lot of money was like the big showy thing and the thing you need to go after. So every single one of my birthdays that I can remember my whole life, up until about my mid-20s, was, you know what? I want to be rich when I grow up. That was my wish every time I grew up. And so I chased money. And I got there, and I lost it. And then I got some more, and I lost it. Then I got divorced, and how many know when that happens? And I found myself trying to find myself, right? You know, didn't feel so motivated anymore to chase that dream, having a car and a house and a yacht. And I really didn't know what I was going to do with myself. What I wanted to do when I grew up, and I was already in my mid-30s at that. So I decided to start over and come to a little place called Quincy Castle. This was about 7 years. I went to Worksource, and Worksource said, you know what, you'd make a great nurse. After taking their testing and trying to figure out what career I wanted to get into. So I went to a little place called RCC, Royal Community College, where I got to be a part of a great group, a leadership group that was led by a lovely lady named Jen Jackson. And it's really cool is during that time, Jenny was really good at challenging us to do things outside of our normal section, right? And so we had a president that was doing blood dreads and running blood dreads at the college, but she was moving on. And Jenny said, hey, who would like to run the blood dreads here at RCC? Nobody raised their hand. And Jenny so kindly looked at me and said, hey, Sam, would you like to run the blood dreads? I've always been kind of a yes man, so I said, okay, yeah, sure, why not? What do I gotta do? Just gotta sign people up. Somebody came from the Red Cross, said, hey, this is what you gotta do, go around, sign people up, get students to donate. And I said, great, I can do that, as long as I don't have to donate. So I went around and talked with a lot of the other students, teachers, faculty, hey, please come and donate. Some people were on the fence, you know, people were a little apprehensive about getting needles in their arms. And as I was getting people to kind of come off that fence and donate, you know, I'd give some people a little bit of a push. So day of the drive came and people were donating. They'd raise up their arms with their red bandages on their arm and say, yeah, I did it. And they'd come up to me and be like, hey, so I don't see a bandage on your arm, what are you donating? I kind of BS my way through it all day long. I said, you know what, we're really busy right now. It's so crazy. I don't know. I don't want to take anybody's spot. Probably by the end of the day, I'll squeeze in, I'll sleep in, and I'll go. having no intention whatsoever. Reason why is I was a kid, I had a true phobia of needles. This is a true story. I got a shot in my buttocks, kind of Forrest Gump, yeah, right in the buttocks. And it hit a nerve, and I couldn't walk for like 2 weeks. I had to wear crutches. It was that bad, I know, right? And every time I got a needles, I got something like 6 inches long, going straight in. And usually, you know, when you're getting some sort of injection, they get it all the way into the muscle tissue, so it's got to go all the way. So that's the way I envision needles. So I was like, no, yeah, I'm not, no thanks. But thank you for doing it. I didn't say that out loud, because I didn't want anyone to say, okay, so you're pushing me to donate, and you're not gonna do it, right? So I kept that secret to myself and just made up excuses. Well, great thing about this, if you guys would have met Judy, she was a rambunctious 70-something-year-old lady that had been working for Red Cross for 30 years. And Judy looks over and she's hearing me tell my story again to all my friends about how I'm just gonna donate as soon as I can because I'm being so virtuous and letting everybody else go ahead. And she goes, hey, you're waiting to donate, come on over, I'll take you right now.
Gotcha.
And I turned so big. As I started to walk over to her, I felt like I was just floating. And I just kind of went on auto mode. All I kept thinking about was, this is really hot. The only other time I felt like this was my first time on a roller coaster. I was scared of heights too. Lots of fears. And she pricking my finger to take my iron levels and doing all this stuff. And I'm not realizing what's going on. I'm so just fuzzy brained, like somebody just hit me upside the head. I was scared. She gets me on the bed and I said, Judy, you know what? I know 2 things are gonna happen today. I'm gonna bleed everywhere. And likely I'm gonna die. Now that might sound funny right now. The truth is I had that in fear that something terrible was about. It was gonna be Carrie in the gym, blood just flying all over the place. Or at the very end, I was gonna get off that bed and pass out, hit my head, and ambulances were gonna have to come get me and carry me away to the hospital, save me. So I said, Judy, you do me a favor, I'm really scared. Please go in, but don't scared. But can you just handle the whole thing? Can you tell me anything that's going on? I didn't see anything. It's pretty late. And if you can make it so I don't feel anything, that'd be great. She goes, okay. So I get on my phone, I start sending pictures that I had taken during the blood drive on Facebook and social media, you know, sending it out to folks, like, hey, blood drive's going great, come down and donate. Some time passes, and I realize enough time has probably passed now, so they're probably gonna take that needle out. This is good time. This is where that works. I'm gonna pass out. So I checked my family. If you don't hear from me. True story. Funny thing is I never sent the text because Judy walked up and I was like, Judy, I need you to tell me when this is gonna happen. And she starts laughing. Now this lady had a taste. She just like would laugh and laugh. I mean, to the point where everybody started looking, right? And I said, what? And she said, hey, you've been done for 10 minutes. I don't know what you are on your phone. And I look over to my arm and it's damaged red. I raise it up. I'm like, yeah! And if I had my little slideshow, I'd show you a ton of pictures of all the other guys raising up their arm with their red bandages on. And Jenny would have recognized many of them, and I'll show it to you later. But it was a pretty cool moment. I didn't die. I got off the bed and I was like, all right, let me just take a few seconds before I count this away. And I'm walking and I'm like, I feel absolutely normal. Absolutely. That's pretty cool. But I'll tell you what, I felt amazing because I overcame fear. With a little push, right? But I overcame something I was terrified. Pretty cool. A few weeks later, the Red Cross sent me an email and a text and says, hey, your blood was used at this children's hospital, cancer center, here in Oregon. And I said, wow. That's, I think I want to do that. So next time, they ask, hey, who wants to help the blood? Yeah, I'll do it. And the next time, and the next time, and I donated, and I donated. And I'll tell you what, it could have come at a better time. I mentioned a little ugly word like divorce, but also my kids were taken from me. And it was a really dark period in my life. And I was struggling to find this. And I didn't. Realizing that my life still didn't matter. And that it still made a difference in someone else. And with that story, I want to share one more with you. There was this gentleman, I used to work at Red Robin as a bartender and a manager when I was still going to school. And he'd come in all the time and I tried to get him to sign up for blood. He works here for the Josephine County Sheriff's Department. Big dude, looks like a linebacker. Like, hey man, can sign up for blood? Hell no. He's like, Ace, I'll do anything else you ask. No, I'm not giving blood. Not giving blood. Well, about 6 months ago, 8 months ago now, I seen him at the Josephine County Court. I'm like, what are you doing here? And Leah, who's our representative there, that gets all the donors. I was like, okay, cute girl, me, I see why you said this. And he said, no, actually, I haven't talked to you in a while, Ace, but I'm your dad in the last couple of years. I said, wow, really? That's awesome. And I said, okay, well, tell me, why are you here? And he's like, well, yeah, it has to do with my son. And I said, really? He goes, yeah. He's like, my son was about 8, 9 months old. This was just a couple months ago. And he got really sick. And so we thought COVID and all these other things. So we started testing, go to the doctor. Couldn't find anything. And they just decided, hey, you know, he has a really bad cold or flu and he's gonna get over it. So just give him some time. Well, a month passed, and I don't know if you guys remember your first kid, for those that are parents. But anything that happened with that first kid was like a big deal. The scariest thing in the world. I still have memories of my son having his first cold and fever and freaking out that he had fever. Well, their son kept getting worse to the point he wouldn't get out of it. Got weaker. They kept going to doctors. I kept him elevated. It's not okay, because he kept trying to comfort his wife. And they go to another doctor, and finally the doctor said, let's prick his finger and let's check his hemoglobin. For those who don't know what hemoglobin is, it's part of your blood, it's made up of iron, so those that are anemic, you have lower hemoglobin levels. And this will make sense to you right now when I explain it. His hemoglobin level is somewhere in a regular range, anywhere between 12 and 16. He was at a range of 2. Now, why is hemoglobin important? It's when you breathe in, you get oxygen in your lungs, it pumps out of your heart, and that oxygen goes into those red blood cells through your hemoglobin. Your hemoglobin transports that oxygen to every cell in the body. It's the reason why if you do have low hemoglobin, you're not getting enough oxygen to all your cells in the body. It's the reason why low iron levels mean, oh, you might get a little hair thinning for the ladies steering through. Might be why you're getting tired or fatigued a lot quicker, because why it's just not getting off or enough up. Well, this kiddo's organs were shutting down because the body starts to prioritize a little bit of oxygen that is making it in through that 2 count. But it's still not enough, and some of his organs are starting to shut down. Some are dying, they're not receiving oxygen. The kid was dying. And the doctor looked at the parents and said, hey man, we need to do emergency transfusion or something. He said, Ace, I never felt so helpless in that moment. Than in that moment in my entire life. Transported my son to the hospital, and he's like, I'll never forget when they brought the box right across the leg into my son's room. But the second moment I'll never forget was the next day when he looked like nothing ever happened. It was my son again. It was like he was dying and he was alive. He's like, we're safe, best day of my life. And he's like, I'll be honest, I didn't think of you in that moment. But he's like, 2 weeks later, I was like, man, so many times I got asked to fill it, and I didn't do it. You know, I'm not super religious. I actually consider myself a little spiritual, but I do have principles I live by. And one, you know, my pastor, when I was a kid growing up, when my mom forced me to go to church. Time for tithes and offerings. They pull out the verse of it's better to give than it is to receive. And I always associated that verse with money. But now that I get a little older and a little wiser, I realize the whole world doesn't really revolve around money as much as we believe it does. See, and there's nothing wrong with money, guys. I know the stability and security and all the stuff that money can buy, but there's certain things money can't. And I really started to think about that. Better to give than it is to receive. And I started thinking, you know, when it's your birthday or it's Christmas, and someone says, hey, what can I get you? As a person receiving, what does your mind go to? It thinks about what you don't have, right? What you want that other people have that you don't, or what you need. So it gets your mind kind of being introspectively thinking about, I don't have, I don't have. Need, I need, have, I need. And unfortunately, a lot of our time we start living our lives like someone who's waiting to receive something. And I remember one thing I'll never forget about my mom. That's the one lesson that I will never forget about her. She said, Sam, you know, one day I was having a super bad day. She would go do something for someone else. And I was like, what do you mean? I'm waiting for you to make me feel good because I had a bad day. Tell me something nice to me for I shouldn't. And she said, no. Go do something nice. She's like, there's that old lady next door. Why don't you go help her with her groceries or cut her yard? I was like, Mom, you're so dumb. I need you to make me feel good. She's like, I am. Trust me. See, when our minds go from waiting to receive what we need in life and to figuring out ways to give, suddenly when you think about giving, you're not thinking about what you don't have, you think about the things you do have. You think about the talents that you were given and how you can maybe use those talents. Suddenly, and some of you business owners and entrepreneurs here realize like you become innovative because we become creative, right? On Mother's Day and my mom's birthday, I didn't have money, but hey, I knew how to cook pancakes. So I made breakfast in the morning. And you start to realize you have more than you ever want or need. You start to see the things that you do have that are valuable, and you start to create when you have given you have. And so to me, that really is my principle in life, that's really truly why it's better to give than it is to receive. And here today, I hope that after this talk, maybe you might be motivated to donate blood and overcome that fear, if it is a fear, or if it's something that you just haven't made time for. One thing I have found as a secret is that we really need to shift our focuses in life. You see, at the beginning of my life, I was focused on what I wanted. And now I've truly found happiness in my life and fulfillment. And I'm so grateful that by doing a blood drive and saying yes to do for others, I get to do a job that I freaking love. Every day, not only do I get to see blood going to folks and seeing their families filled with hope and love and joy, knowing that the person they love has a second chance at life, but I also get to see all those folks that come out and donate blood and the joy in their faces, knowing that their life is making a difference. I get to hear the stories of so many people saying, you know what, I felt like I was useless. So many retired folks that felt like they had nothing else to give in life, and they started volunteering and giving, and donating blood. How now suddenly their life is filled with joy and love. So today, I just want to inspire you. And if it isn't blood that you end up doing, or you don't decide to work with the Red Cross to partner with us on anything you want to do, I hope that you continue to make a difference in your businesses and put forth, because to me, great business are those that look to be in service to others, solving a problem, giving to others. Those are the best businesses. They're the ones that last the longest, I'll tell you that. I want to thank you all for your time today. I hope today, think of one person that you can do something great for, something nice, something thoughtful, or just tell them how amazing they are. Tell them how much they mean to you, or just do something random act of kindness for someone today. I appreciate your time. I hope you all decide to work with the Red Cross. Please, I am here, talk to me. If you want to host a blood drive, or just come and be a first-time donor, or come back to donate after a long time, please talk. But if anything, I urge you to be of service to others. I promise you will not regret it. Thank you.
Please. Sam.
Oh, yeah. Hey,
So I'll give you 3 or 4 questions. You have some questions?
nobody has questions.
All right, we're gonna.
Can you come to the why?
Okay.
So
Absolutely.
how does it work when you partner with businesses to do blood drives?
Okay, so partnering is just talk to me, we'll set up, we'll make it happen. We take care of most of it. Basically, you'll do what I was asked to do at RCC, is just help us recruit donors. Now, we also do a big piece of that, as we have online marketing and all kinds of other stuff to help support your drive. Really, what you get to do is participate as much as you'd like to, is what it comes down to, and you give us a place, an organization to partner with, and maybe a new sphere of influence that we can bring into the fold to become donors and volunteers as well. Yeah.
Every time I try to donate blood, they tell me my blood is small, but my doctor says it's not.
Okay, so with that,
Repeat the question.
yeah, no, so her question was, every time she comes in to donate, they'll defer her because they say her hemoglobin might be too low. But then she goes and sees her doctor, and her doctor says it's fine. Here's the thing with that. A lot of folks, a lot of times, their level of hemoglobin is just right. Just right. In other words, you're good. But if I'm gonna take some of that away from you, let's say your rent is $1,000 and I'm asking you for $100, it might not be a good idea for you to give me that $100, right? But if you were at $1,100, you could be like, yeah, I can give you the $100 and I can still pay you. Similar, I mean, that's a quick analogy of how it is with hemoglobin. So you might just be at a great level, but since we're gonna take some from you, it's not a good idea because you're not quite high enough to spare some. If that makes sense.
I can add to that. I have the same problem. And before my appointment to get blood, I take iron pills for about a week or 2, and that gets it up there.
Yeah, that's a great tip. If you do run into that, it won't harm you. Trust me. There's also the fear of having too high of iron. If you're just right and they're catching you to where they're saying you just don't have enough to donate, please do what you said. It won't harm you in any kind of way. I'm not a doctor, so I'm gonna just preface that, but truthfully, most of my donors that have that issue, a couple weeks leading up to the blood drive will either eat iron-rich foods, or supplement with some iron pills, and that kind of gets them just high enough where they can donate safely. And again, the reason for that is because we don't want to drop the level so low where you start having issues.
Well, thank you again. We're gonna give him a chance to get to me if you want. Okay, we have 5 more cards to sell. Anybody out there? All right, and I just wanted to say how charming and engaging your talk was. I heard that you were a very great speaker and really appreciate your turning up. I'm sure it's very stressful sitting in traffic, you know, trying to get here. So I thank everyone here for being so gracious. And the magic of Rotary, I want to say I have the same kind of mom. My mom always used to say, if you have enough, it's your privilege to share. It's not your duty, it's not your obligation, it's your privilege. And I think almost everybody in here feels that and believes that. So that was great. And it's really kind of a cool thing that Brad happens to be here today, because he's got hundreds of people going into the Y every day. And I think you're going to pick up a news source. So just because it's a funky day, Daniela sent me a text just before the meeting to say, you know, I signed up to be greeter, but I'm going to be late. Well, guess what? She signed up to be sergeant. And then she wrote back that I've never done sergeant, what are you supposed to do? So I'm gonna do it with you, come on up, Daniela. And we probably does it differently, but the idea is to say a few things, say, sometimes people look up on this date in history, this or that, and the other thing happens. Some people like me just point and say, Brad, you're gonna make a donation today. And part of that is because Brad has his own story about having had gone through a struggle with one of his kids, which he might talk to us about. And just now that you know that he's making that huge salary at the Y. And so, yeah, what you like, you ready to go? You just talk for a minute and I'll help you if you need it, and I'll make a donation, you can call on me. She's not right.
Okay, but I mean,
Yeah,
I can talk to her. I mean, I'm good at that.
All right, so 2 or 3 minutes and then start calling on people or ask for volunteers.
2 or 3 minutes of just things, huh? Anybody?
The speaker today, maybe just go ahead and call on people.
Yeah, okay. I'm gonna talk to you a little bit about 2 things we have coming up. We have that 5K, which is our 3rd annual fundraiser for Project B Plus. It just happens to be the same day you guys are doing cleanup. So if someone doesn't want to clean up and might wanna come volunteer, we do have that available at Club Northwest, same time frame, 9 o'clock to 11:30. We also are doing we were asked this year to do a tree at Winterfest, and that is really exciting. As many of you know, Misty King used to be with Project U Plus, and when she transitioned, we were offered her tree space. And we wanted to do that because mental health is huge for students at Project U Plus and for our staff. As you would imagine, COVID and post-COVID have been really hard on everyone. And so mental health is a big pillar of Project U Plus now, and we want to make sure that our students and our families and our staff are supported. So I just wanted to give you guys a heads up, we will be doing a tree, and it's going to be all about the trades because we really believe in the trades. And the theme is going to be what are your tools in your toolbox for mental health. So it's going to be fun. If anybody really is super creative and wants to come help us, we are serving our community to do that work, okay? So if you have more questions about that, let me know. We have, our students always volunteer every year at 1%. They volunteer at the four-way, they volunteer at climate activities. I'm sure some of you in the room have had our student volunteers. It's just another way to get them invested in something we find very valuable in the community. If you have questions about that, let me know. I'm already tugging on some ears here in this room because I hear some of you are amazing. I mean, all of you are amazing. I lied. Some of you are amazing at the things I'm amazing. So anyway, I guess I'm gonna be asking for money. Anybody have anything exciting you want to talk about and throw up some money? Yes, ma'am. Should I bring this to you? Is that what happened?
Happy thoughts. I have some sad and some happy. Thank you to all of those that came to our open house. Dave and I really enjoyed having you. And also I want to wish happy birthday to all the October people, including myself.
All right.
And I talked to my younger brother this morning, it's his birthday, and I said, well, how young are you? He said 59. I said, oh my God, you're getting old just like me. And also I want to thank Judy and Doug Walker about announcing about North Carolina. That is my hometown. I was born and raised there. Nashville is very well known for the Biltmore House. I know the village was hit really hard. I'm not sure about the Biltmore House itself. Also, Blowing Rock is no longer there. I think most people in this community were in the mountains. They're not used to hurricanes. They usually don't get hurricanes, and it's all about the rain and the flooding. And a lot of their streets and their bridges are gone. And you can't reach these people other than by boat and helicopter. So I've already given, I will continue to give as much as I can. If you can't give, I know there, you know, we have Rotary, we have Polio Plus, we have the backpacks, we have numerous things going on in our lives, but if you can't give, pray for these people.
Thank you.
You have just a piece of wisdom that I ran across that works in very nicely with what Ace had to say about money not buying you happiness. But money can buy you a penguin. And have you ever met anyone with a penguin that wasn't happy?
Today was full of a lot of really amazing things. Sam was the last leadership student that I worked with at Road Community College. And I'm fiercely proud of you, Sam. Thank you for coming here today. We launched last night at Pacific Aviation Northwest, our very first partnership. We had 5 young high schoolers from Grants Pass High School and North Valley High School. We threw a lot of very technical information at them, and they showed up and they worked hard and they did great. And I've been a little bit afraid of that job because it didn't exist before and I've been creating it. And we're doing pretty good. So that's really great. I have a brother, a bonus brother. Many of you know I found a sister, and my bonus brother, who I talk to more than my biological sister most of the time, lives in Asheville. And him and his husband safely survived. And but I can only imagine what he's going through with what's happening in this community. So my hearts go out to them. Today's been an amazing and beautiful day, and I was so excited to be able to be here with this. And just thank you all. You should join our club because whenever I come here, I say I'm going to hang out with all the do-gooders because that's who we are and what we do. And I love you all very much. And I was going to be Sergeant at Arms, so I looked it up. And today in history is the day that Germany reunified in 1990. And I think that that's just a beautiful piece of today.
Yeah, I'll say this over and over again. The do-gooders and the people of this group are wonderful, and it is wonderful to be here. I was very inspired. Thank you. And it is, I think as we all know, that all the money in the world doesn't buy happiness. And like I said, and thank you, Danielle, for not remembering you were gonna be and standing in here. That's all I have, girl. You got it. We appreciate it. So thank you.
All right. One little tidbit I just wanted to add. So I learned this not too long ago, and it makes sense to a lot of things that Jenny taught us in leadership. But generosity and kindness is contagious. Little thing called oxytocin in the body. It's the hormone that gets released when we hug each other. It bonds folks. It's the same hormone that gets released when a mother gives childbirth. The child is flooded with that same hormone or chemical in their body, and they both have a surge of that when they make skin-to-skin contact, right? So they call it the hugging hormone, or the feel-good love hormone. Same hormone, obviously, when 2 folks get together and make a very lovely moment. Also, both folks share that oxytocin. But check this out. When you do an act of kindness, not only is the person that you're doing something kind for have a rush of oxytocin, even though there's no physical contact, but you do as well. And anyone else seeing that taking place, an act of kindness also receives that same rush. And the more oxytocin you have in your body, the more likely you are to do an act of kindness, and so on and so forth. So continue to do what you're doing. It's contagious.
Okay.
Are we cutting it off?
Oh, okay. I'm Patrice, I'm with the Josephine County Big Bang, and I'm $10. I've never gotten this. And I'd like to thank Janie, who's not here. September was like Hunger Action Month, and Janie, with her help with KOBI, got us a lot of advertising and some donations. But I'd also like to thank the Church of Latter-day Saints. We Donations are way, way down. And during Hunger Action Month, they already have raised for us $4,330 through their church donations. Yeah, and this afternoon, we are receiving a half a semi-truck of dairy. Now, if you ever are in the food bank, and Mary knows, the shelves are pretty empty, so it's really important because we are feeding over 18,000 people a month, and we're actually feeding more people, and you're on the board. So, for Jamie and for the Latter-day Saints Church, thank you.
$270, I think my golf games are actually pretty good right now. Won a tournament 300 at Veteran Creek on Saturday, so I think pretty good. I'm also just happy to be back in the Rotary circuit, just all the serendipitous connections that happen here. When you come, you don't know what good's gonna happen, but you know good's gonna happen, so thanks for having me.
I just want to share that we started 7 minutes late, so don't think that we're really being hurried. That's that part of the thing. Jim wanted to make a donation. But I just want to give a little few happy bucks, because I just think Rotary is fun. I mean, it's not a reflection on my life, but this is not the most fun I have. And you're doing great.
Look at that.
I had a bragging about, this last weekend, part of the Josephine County Sheriff's Mounted Posse, as you know. We had our annual competition, it's called Showdio, and that's where all the posses from Oregon get together and we compete against one another. Well, I've been working with my horses. I got my one mare that I normally show. She's pregnant. She's in a cocoon. I'm doing nothing with her to keep her pregnant. So I've started working the last 10 months, 11 months with my other horse that I've never shown. Took her to the show for the first time. She ended up winning 2 classes, got 2 seconds and a third in big classes. And I just was like,
Going, oh, there's someone online, yes, I'm coming.
Hi. I have 20 happy bucks in honor of Steve Rowe and a couple of his brave employees this week who were both former RCC students, and they all agreed to be in an RCC commercial this week. So I have 20 happy bucks for them. Thank you.
Okay, I think you draw cards now. Where are the cards?
Cards and ace will draw for us.
Oh, Ace is drawing. Okay.
Do we need to count the money?
What happens? What are the rules? Where do I read about it?
There we go.
All right, Ace, you're gonna be taking the card. Look out at the crowd.
All right, 7. That's a good one.
7 of hearts. 7 of hearts. Oh. There you go.
Careful.
Okay, giving up my title here.
So now, almost everything we could have done a little wacko did, a little wacko today, but we still had fun and everything's great. We'll see you next week. Our speaker will be Dr. Robin Miller from Channel 5, and she's going to talk to us about several things. So, all right. Ciao.
Keep the heads up, not that it matters.